Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining me once again at the table. Tonight I have a special guest with me, Miss Gracie Thornton,
Hello.
daughter of Pastor Ian Thornton. She has decided to join me at the table. Thanks for being here tonight.
I like coming. I like talking. This is
All
good.
right. Well, we got a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yeah,
Because I understand God's been pretty powerful in your life, hasn't he?
he has. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit, so just what is one of the greatest things that God's done for you in your life?
Well, I would have to say pretty much recently, just everything that's been going on with the whole move and even just being here. There's a lot of things that have just kind of really just shown me that God is real, because sometimes I used to have a hard time really wrapping my head around that.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of really exploded
Yeah.
within these last 2 years, I think.
Okay. So just in case nobody knows what's going on, you said something about a move. Are you talking about the recent move that you're going to be doing to Martins Ferry, or just moving to this area in general, or
Actually, just moving to Ohio.
just moving to Ohio?
Like the entire 2 years that I've
Okay.
been just really just along for this ride
Yeah.
in just moving and, well, I mean, we have moved a lot, but just these 2 years of our life really has just been focused on transition and
Yeah.
faith. And it's been really, really cool to watch, but it's also been sometimes really stressful. But it's really great to just be a part of everything.
Yeah. And you came from Fredericksburg, Virginia, is that correct?
No, Dad came from Fredericksburg.
Okay, Dad's from Fredericksburg.
Dad's from
Lynchburg.
Fredericksburg. I'm from Lynchburg.
Lynchburg. Okay. So 2 years ago you lived in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Yep.
Now in 2019 you're living in Jacobsburg currently. Is that correct?
Well, West Bel Air.
West Bel Air. Okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You now live in West Bel Air.
Another
And-
move.
Another move. And you're going to be moving to Martins Ferry. I
Yes.
understand. So, and all this within 2 years. And can you tell the audience how old you are?
I am 16. I turned 16 a few days ago.
Just a few days. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, think about that for a moment. When were you 13 or 14 when you moved?
I was 13 actually, because
Yeah.
that's when I started writing.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and I do want to talk about that too. So, just imagine this for a moment. 13 years old, moving from Lynchburg, Virginia, where did you live there your whole life? Lynchburg?
I would have to say, yeah, we moved. I was in North Carolina till I was 3.
Okay.
And then for 10 years, I lived in
Okay.
the same house in Lynchburg.
Okay, so for 10 years you lived in the same place. Then they come to Ohio. If you've ever seen At the Table, you probably have seen some of that story that Ian has shared with us. If not, go back on the YouTube site and look for it. It's probably, I think it's called For the Sake of the Call. I'm pretty sure that's the one where we talked about that. But anyway, of course, he brings his family with him, and Gracie is the oldest of how many kids?
6.
So you're the oldest of 7, though. So you got 6 brothers and sisters, right? Or
Yes.
total of 7 kids.
Yes. Today's Monday. My brain's dead.
Okay, so the oldest of 7, she wasn't counting herself, and that's okay. And you are 16, and the youngest is 5. Is that correct? Emma's
Yes,
5?
it is.
Yes, Emma's 5.
She just turned 5.
She just
too,
turned 5.
So everybody just moved a year up.
Yeah, everybody just moved to Europe. Were you the last birthday?
Actually, no. We still have 2 more.
You still have
We
2 more.
have like 6 birthdays in 2 months. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. I know. I remember talking to your dad about that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind, let's talk about your writing.
Okay. Yeah.
How many books have you written?
Well, I would have to say 2,
Okay.
and they never really took off.
Okay.
One was accepted by a publisher though, but they were. When I was 13, I really loved the story of Peter Pan, and it was like just when we started moving, and writing was really the thing that just kind of was given to me by, I would have to say, God. It's just really a gift given to me by God, and it really helped me cope with everything.
Okay.
So yeah, I wrote a book based off of the Peter Pan story, and I really loved it, and it turned into another book that I had started, and then the first one got divided into 2. So there was 3 overall.
So essentially 3 books.
There was essentially 3, but It's funny because you know the whole thing with Peter Pan is that there's this boy that never wanted to grow up. Well, throughout the 2 years of transition, really, I have been forced to grow up a lot.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, it's kind of funny, and I just, I feel God picks on me a lot. Like, he thinks it's funny, and I'm okay with it, but he really picks on me a lot, and it's just like, it's just great, but those three stories were really just my coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And, throughout, I'd have to say maybe like the last 3 months, I've really been just kind of been given the freedom to relax, really.
That's beautiful.
So it's just like, over those 3 months, I have dropped those stories. Actually, those are not in progress anymore. So
Okay. So
yeah,
have you
those
started
are gone.
anything new, or do you have plans
I
to?
have actually,
Okay.
and it'll be like 9 times better. I say that, but maybe even more. I don't know.
Not 10 times better? 9 times? I'm just
I
kidding.
don't know. I don't know why I'm being so weirdly specific.
That's okay.
But yeah, so it's just like it's just kind of time to move on from those, and but I can look back through them and just kind of really see just how much I was just given the freedom to just kind of go to that place. And even with that, it was like I have a funny story to tell you about those three, because throughout these, I keep mentioning 2 years, but I mean, it's been a long 2 years. I actually have been learning a lot about faith for myself. Like I feel like for the longest time, I felt like I was just kind of along for the ride. And I really didn't have a point in this. Because, I mean, like, it's just, your parents move, and you're not out of the house yet, so you kind of have to go. It's like, you can't just stay behind.
Sure, I understand.
So, it's just like, well, we moved here, like, a few months after my grandfather passed away, and it was really hard because we were in the house when he passed away, and that's the house we moved into. And it was really hard, and when I had first started writing that one story, that's kind of what kept me together, honestly.
Okay.
And I had been writing it on my phone because
Wow.
I didn't have a computer and I didn't really have anything to work on, so I was just in your phone you've got this little thing, the notes section. Yeah, that's where everything was, like 16 chapters, like over 100 so pages. It was crazy.
Wow.
And then my phone crashed.
Did you lose it?
I lost everything
Oh my goodness.
for like a month.
Were you able to get it back at all, or?
I did, and that's where the trust thing came in.
Oh,
because it was
wow.
like I thought I had lost everything, and it was just terrible because I had put so much work into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, being the unstable 13-year-old I was, that was not the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
But I had gone to the farmer's market one week, and I came back, and my mom handed me this iPad mini that we had had for a while, and she told me to look in the notes section, and everything was there.
Oh, wow.
Because it had all backed up to iCloud.
Yes,
and
yes.
I didn't know. But it was just, that was like one of the first things that was kind of like the first thing that happened to me that really started just pushing me towards the ledge of, this is all real and this is all happening.
Yeah.
And just miracles. Gotta love them.
Oh, yes. God is good,
Yes,
isn't he?
definitely.
Well, that's great. So did you ended up finishing that book then?
I did. I finished that one and then almost finished the second one.
Okay.
It was kind of still in production. And then the first one I split in two.
Okay, the first one
Because
you split in two.
it turned out to be over 370 something pages. It was huge.
Yeah.
So
which one was accepted by the publisher?
the first one.
The first one, okay.
All three before I split it.
Before you split it. Okay.
That was really great. Especially I had just turned 14. So it's like I wrote a novel that was like, it was another thing. I've been told by so many writers, because I'm in a big writer community now, but I've been told by so many different authors and everything that your first book is rarely accepted.
Yeah.
Like, rarely.
Yeah.
And here I am, some weird 14-year-old, and I got my book accepted, and I mean, It was great. So,
Wow, that's fantastic. Now, are they going to publish it?
uh, no, because
Okay.
I dropped it and it's not
Okay.
a thing anymore. So,
Okay, so you don't even want
so
it to be published.
don't be looking for that one.
Okay, but are you writing another one?
I am, and this time I'm putting a lot of the things that I've learned into, like just learned spiritually. I'm putting them in there. It's not gonna be like something like the Chronicles of Narnia or
Okay.
something, but it's like it won't be. Probably won't be that great, but it's like
I'm sure it'll be great.
it might, but I'm not expecting it at all to be like an instant classic or something.
Sure, yeah.
Because I mean I'm 16. Don't reach for much.
You, yeah. Can I remind you that she is 16, and already I feel like I'm talking to an adult here. So this is really good. You know, you mentioned the Chronicles of Narnia. You know, the guy who wrote that started out as an atheist.
Yeah, and then he read the Bible, and halfway through it, he's like, "I'm a Christian now."
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's an amazing story.
yeah,
God can-
C.S. Lewis is one of my role models.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah. And God can just change anybody at any time, no matter what age you are.
Yeah.
So, do you feel more connected to God in Ohio, or about the same as you were in Virginia, or how's that work?
Hands down, Ohio.
Yeah.
I actually have to say, it's just being in Bel Air, there are so many things happening just with the Holy Spirit and everything. And I honestly, I feel so in tune with it that we went to Virginia, like, I have to say 3 months ago, and I
Okay.
got bored because I didn't feel the Holy Spirit moving. I'm serious.
Oh,
I
wow.
can feel it, and it's the weirdest thing ever. But I got bored.
Now, if you're watching in Virginia, don't take that the wrong
No,
way.
no.
Nothing
No,
to do with
no.
Virginia or Ohio.
Me personally.
It's just
Me
Gracie
personally.
Right.
Yeah. So if we're going on vacation, we're not going to Virginia.
We're not going.
Not that it's
That's
a lovely
great.
state. Beautiful weather there. And I think that was part of the problem because I'm so used to Bel Air now
Yeah.
that it's like
But yeah, you're right. Things are definitely changing in Bel Air. You know, your dad mentioned yesterday in his sermon. This is pre-recorded, by the way, so that's why he said yesterday in his sermon.
Yeah.
He mentioned that Bel Air's brighter.
it is.
It is. It really is.
It's kind of weird. It's just like looking back over just the time that we've been here, it's changed so much. It's just
Yeah,
great.
it really has. It's just changed a lot since I've been here too,
Yeah.
and I love to see the change. And more changes are coming.
They are definitely, especially with this, like you've mentioned a few times, we're moving to Martins Ferry, and big house, I love it.
Yeah,
But
good.
It's like, just so there has been so much just transition in our lives that it just is like change is normal for us.
Yeah.
To the point to where we just roll with it, even when it seems like the craziest of things.
Let's talk about that for a moment because so many people struggle with change. I feel like I'm talking to an adult here, and I got to remind myself I'm talking to a teenager. But so many people struggle with change in their lives to the point that they will even just like freeze up. They will not want to move. They then find themselves going to the doctor for depression or anxiety. And if they would just sit back and, like I said on my episode last week, I don't know if you saw it, but just be. If you just be yourself and just let God move and show you, change is not so bad. Change can actually be a good thing, can it?
It can, but it just I feel really bad for even just thinking this, but
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sometimes just wondering why people think change is so terrifying. Because I've grown up with it. It's like second nature.
Sure. Okay.
I've moved. Like, I have not been in a stable house for like for 2 years, but like we've moved back and forth to different places about 6 times.
Okay.
So it's they've all been in the same area,
Yeah.
but like I'm just gonna say this, a lot of girls or even just people my age love like making a space their own. I have not been able to do that, and it's extremely hard.
It's hard, but
Yeah.
I would say in some way it's helped you become who you are. Would you agree with that?
It really has. 2 years ago, I was probably the most immature person you would ever meet. I cracked jokes at everything. I was like, I could not keep myself together. I had panic attacks regularly,
Really?
and it was just I struggled with a lot of anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually had I don't know if I still do. I might, but I have autism.
Okay.
And it just made it that much worse because I actually remember a few years ago we were still in Virginia, but I could not take authority seriously because I didn't understand that my authority had authority,
Oh,
and
I understand.
I just wouldn't get it. So it's just a lot of things in me personally have really shifted.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
So are you better with authority now, or?
I am actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
most of the time.
Now,
Actually, nah, I am.
so you feel that when coming to Ohio has made you draw closer to God, and certainly you went from being a 13-year-old to a 16-year-old now, and so do you feel like you've matured in that time too?
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell you
I've been told so many times
Yeah.
that I am just not the same person.
I remember meeting you, and I think you were 14 at the time, because I thought you were 16 or 17 at the time, just based on talking to you, what I thought a 16 or 17-year-old would talk like, and here you were 14, and I was blown away. So I already thought you were more mature than your age.
Yeah.
And now, I swear, I feel like I'm talking to did I say that yet? I feel like I'm talking to an
3
adult
times.
here. Okay, thank you. You're counting.
I'm
No,
not.
I mean,
I'm not
and I
counting.
mean that
They
as a
just stick-
compliment.
It just sticks there.
I mean that as a compliment to you.
Thank you.
I really believe that you are a truly unique individual, and God has done amazing things with you, and I can't wait to see what else He does with you.
Neither can I, because
Yeah.
it's just. I mean, I went through I've gone for just the longest time, just really, actually, just turned off to
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
And it's I always tell my parents about this, but I always tell them like it's gonna sound a little bit irrelevant, but trust me, it is. I always tell them that I'm not gonna make my kids go to Sunday school until they start actually understanding it,
Okay.
because I grew up in like just the Baptist Sunday school type thing,
Okay. Okay.
and it's watered down so much because I mean you don't want to scare kids. That's like the last thing you want to do. But it's just watered down so much that to when you get older and you get into more like the youth groups and different things where everybody's really awkward and you have no idea what you're doing, it just you feel like you know all of it, and then it just feels like something for younger kids, and then you just drop it. That's why
Wow.
that's why the whole thing is going on, like with youth leaving the church, or at least that's what I think, because I mean,
think you're onto something
people
there.
just get turned off.
Have you told your dad that?
I have told him many times.
Yeah. Okay. That's really good.
So, I mean, I just went through just the longest period of time, just not like I believed in God. I knew it was true, but I was just tired of hearing the same old stories. And then that just kind of just really just kind of broke me,
Yeah.
sort of. And then, but everything kind of just started coming back with the whole transition. And, you know, even, I don't know if you've talked about this at all, but my little sister Anna, and that whole thing just, I mean, I was 10.
Yeah.
And that was something that I still, honestly, still kind of get. I have like flashbacks or something.
Yeah.
Like when I start thinking about it, because I mean that was like, if you guys don't already know, that was my not youngest sister, but
Second youngest.
second youngest. Thank you.
Yeah.
She was born prematurely, 2 months I think.
I wasn't sure how long it was, but
Yeah, I think it was 2 months.
okay.
And our mom was in the hospital for like a month and a half. And as an older sister, the oldest sister, with anxiety and autism, and 10, that was not a good combination.
Yeah.
I remember one day, like, we would go visit her regularly, and then we didn't see her, I remember, once for a week straight.
Okay. Your mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, there was something that happened. We got there to go visit, and then she started bleeding, and we weren't told why because we were so young. But then we had to go, and it was just, I didn't understand why, and I was really intent on seeing her, and then they just kicked us out, and we were like, "What's going on?"
Tough for a 10-year-old.
Very tough, and. You know, Dad was working, so then it was always grandparents or it was always babysitters, and then there was this one friend of Mom's that kept coming over that it was extremely hectic. So, yeah. But everybody turned out okay, and that's really kind of what I mean through all of this. Everybody turned out fine, and it kind of interested me because that's what Dad had told us before it all had started.
That it was going to be fine.
That everything was going to be fine. And it's like, this isn't just the stereotypical everything's going to be okay.
Right,
just to get your kids settled. I mean, it was something a little bit more. And even, I feel like even at that young age, it kind of clicked.
Yeah.
So.
Your dad had some insight from God.
Yeah.
That everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be. And that's part of your dad's gift.
Yeah.
That he has. And that's why he knew. And actually, two parts of the gifts that he has, and they combine together to say, hey, everything's going to be okay. And your mom and Anna Faith are both doing just fine now, right?
Yep, they are perfectly fine.
That's right.
And Anna will not sit down.
Anna will not sit down.
It's like she was supposed to. They were worried for her because she was tiny. She was like this big and then weighed only like 4 pounds.
Oh wow.
She was like petite. She was tiny.
Yeah.
And everybody was really worried for her and everything. And it's just like now, it's like you wouldn't even guess that that all of that had happened. She runs around and is loud, just like a normal 6-year-old.
I've never seen her loud. She's always very shy when she's here at church. But...
That's because she likes to be nice for you.
Okay. There was...
You come hang out at our house.
Okay. Well, I've already got an invite from Emma that I can come play in your backyard.
Yeah,
I've already been
she's
told.
the 5-year-old, Emma.
Yeah, she's the youngest.
Both of them love him.
Yeah.
It's like we have a mini Phil fan club. It's the best thing ever, though.
Yeah. The thing I like is when Emma says, Pastor Phil is better than Pastor Dad. That makes my day.
Yes, and we just think it's hilarious.
Yeah. So in this 16 years, and just into 16 years, you have really been through a lot.
I have. It's like life never slows down for me, but to be honest, it's because, life isn't your race.
Wow. Can you say that again?
Life just hasn't slowed down for us because life isn't our race.
Life isn't our race. This words of wisdom from this wonderful 16-year-old. I mean, I'm just blown away by that statement. That is really good.
Trademark Gracie Thornton.
Yeah. Please, when you comment,
you can
all
use
credit
that.
goes
I
to
don't care.
Gracie Thornton. That was very profound. I'm really impressed by that.
But I mean, I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And it's like, even one of my favorite quotes that my dad throws out a lot is just, we are windows to look through, yet not people to look to. Something like that.
Wow.
That's
good too.
That's the kind of stuff that I have grown up with. And I mean, it's just, that's part of the reason why I'm so confused, why people are so scared about change. And I mean, like, as I get older, I'm kind of noticing it. And I get scared at times too, just about certain things. But I mean, like, we dropped everything and moved. And it's like, we have no furniture or dishes or anything, and because right now we're in a rental house, so they let us use all that stuff. But I mean, we literally left almost everything and
back in Virginia
and just came here.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I get that change is scary. I do get that. I'm not totally blind to it, but it's just, I think it's funny just sometimes how blessed I am with just with just peace of mind in a lot of things.
That's wonderful.
It,
And, you know, Belair is going through a lot of changes. This church, First United Methodist Church, is going through a lot of changes. And there are people that sometimes, and yeah, I'm talking to all of you who are watching, you might not want to go through this change. But you can see that change is not always bad. I mean, look at this young lady here. Look at the Thornton family. And change is sometimes very good.
yeah.
It really is. And it makes us better. Because if we think about it, if we get comfortable with who we are, we get comfortable with what we have, and if we hold on to that, what happens is we lose focus on God.
Yeah.
Because we become content.
I think that's what people are scared of.
Yes.
But not that they're worried to follow God, but like actually backtracking to like the middle of what you said. I think people are scared to lose who they think they are.
Yes.
Now I think that's where it's become easiest for me, because I was at the most vulnerable stage of my anybody who's over 16 that's watching this, you know, the most vulnerable stage of your life is like when you're 13.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like I grew up and went through my whole finding of identity through this change. So my dad always tells me this, where he feels blessed in an area to where he feels like he can fit anywhere God puts him. And I feel like that I mean, just, you know, even looking in this with this insight, it's like as I was trying to mold myself, he broke my mold into putting me through all this change. So now I'm perfectly available to just be wherever and whoever I'm supposed to be or do.
Wow.
So it's like,
Wow.
it's like, you know, because when you try and stuff yourself into this mold, you know, you're trying to put yourself in good with society, and then it's just like, you're not supposed to be like that. And I feel like it was hard, and but of course, you know, just the Bible says that, you know, we're clay in God's hands.
Yeah.
And you know, when you make something out of clay, it's a rough process.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
messy.
Yeah.
So it's just like being broken, and it's just I struggled for so long because I could not put myself together, and I only recently have actually started learning all this within the past 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Like, I've gone from that long, since 13, to just that short period of time ago, just totally wandering around in the dark. And I say this a lot, and I'm worried that people will take it the wrong way, but it's not just the normal teenager, I don't know who I am crisis.
Right,
It was
right.
like I was totally blinded, but it felt so spiritual. Like, it felt so different because I just could not figure out who I was or what I was supposed to do, and it's just it was just totally just
It was rough.
it was, but there's just that see, I can't even speak because it's like there was just something different about it.
Okay. God was in it.
Thank you. Yes,
God was in
that.
it. And God has turned you into this person that is still becoming, coming of age even, and becoming an even better person.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, you are. And trust me, I know all of them, the people watching this are probably amazed by this as well, and who you are at such a young age. Completely God behind it and in it all. And we're running out of time. I wish we could go longer because, you know, actually, you want to take over this show because you did a whole lot better than I've been doing the last 20 episodes. No, I mean...
I would talk people's ears off, actually.
Gracie, I really appreciate you being here tonight. You have been amazing, and you've inspired me. I'm sure you've inspired them. I wish you the best, and I just pray that you continue to enjoy and embrace this journey God has you on, because He's turning you into an amazing person. You're already amazing. He's going to use you in such a mighty way that your parents are going to be proud. People are going to look up to you. People are going to want to know more about you. God really has some great plans for you, and it's just beautiful to watch and see. So
Thanks.
thank you so much for being here tonight. You have just
you.
been great. And thank you all for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this. Please leave your comments. Share this video. It'll be on YouTube as well. And, next week is our season finale episode. I believe that is, episode 21. Nope, I'm sorry. Next week is not the season finale. Episode 22 is the season finale. Episode 21 next week. But after that, we have the bloopers coming up. And then after that, I might take a week or two off. And then I'm going to do some holiday specials. Like I said last week, I'm going to do some specials at the table through the holidays. Maybe we'll have you back on sometime during the holidays if
That'd
you're
be fun.
interested.
I could come in with like a Santa hat or
Yeah,
something. Make
yeah.
it fun.
We didn't even get into the fact that this girl can sing. Oh, my goodness, you ought to hear her sing. So maybe
Yeah.
next time you can sing for us. Anyway, thank you tonight for joining, and I'll see you next week at the table.
Bye.